And welcome into In-Game Chat for Saturday, September the 27th, 2025. It is Season 19, Episode 30. I am Scott.
And I'm RJ.
And welcome into the show, everybody. Do this. Get that done.
Clap, clap.
I know. 825 episodes so far. Anyway, welcome to the show. If you want to interact and, reach out, get in touch, do all that other stuff, Discord's a good way to do it if you would like to do that. There's a link to our Discord if you go to our website, ingamechat.net. In fact, every way you want to get in touch with us is at our website, ingamechat.net. Twitter, Blue Sky. There's also Facebook as well. You can email us, everyone at ingamechat.net. Streaming right now, twitch.tv. There's a link to that at our website as well. Twitch.tv. You go there, type in In-Game Chat in the search bar. You'll find us. Or you can just click the link that's on our website at ingamechat.net. And you can join us in the chat room live while we broadcast. AC Wraith hanging on there, as always. So, I should unmute the Discord. There we go. And it also needs to be updated. I'm going to go ahead and just update the Discord. Might as well. I think it'll throw me right back in there when it's done updating. Anyway, welcome into the show, everybody. Good to have you here for this week's episode. Let's start off with what we've played for the week, and I hand it over to RJ. Buddy, what's been going on?
Well, I played a little bit more of a Virtua Fighter 5. I got a little rusty over the past week because I was putting a lot of focus on Division 2, trying to search for items and everything like that. And speaking of which, Division 2 is the majority of what I played this week, really. Still hunting for that elusive rifle that I've been looking for. Going through the game and everything, but had something a little odd happen. When playing the game, I was kicked out of the server, and it reset some stuff. Basically the server-side game, they make a change there. It applies to everything you do from then on. You don't have like a save file on your system. It goes straight.
No, it's all saved remotely server, right? In the cloud. Whatever.
Yeah. So if they change something, they mix something up. So I was in the middle of a boss battle with one of the villains of the game, Aaron Keener, right? And I had got to the second half of the boss battle, right? So in the loading screen to get to the second half of that thing, the thing said server's going to shut down in a few minutes. So this is in the middle of a boss battle. So I'm thinking, okay, I got enough time to take him out and then log off and everything.
You hope you do,
right?
Yeah.
Right? So I knew it should have been. It was a problem when it took about 12 to 15 minutes for the thing to load.
Oh wow!
So yeah, something was going on.
You probably thought something was really going wrong while you were watching that.
So I still had the loading screen going on, right?
Yeah.
So by the time it actually got back to the game, it had reset and kicked me out of it and started me back at the White House. So I didn't know what was going on. So I tried to look through everything and see what I've lost in the process. I didn't lose anything except the progress of the boss battle.
Progress of the boss fight, yeah.
Against the enemy.
More than likely, that was a reset that happened, it was. For one, it may not have saved your progress. That boss fight may not have. I don't know. You've had other boss fights.
But what I'm thinking is it's an old boss fight. I mean, it's something that was out very a while back, and I'm just not getting into it, right? So I'm guessing someone was reset or taken out, or that boss battle was put in the legacy aspects of the boss battles, because you got a whole list of older boss battles that I've only done one of. I think it's the first one. I think a operative named Jupiter. I took her boss battle and did that. But there was like plenty of other story-based legacy manhunts that going through that thing, and that was probably been taken out of the game and put into the legacy part. Yeah. So that's probably what happened.
It's likely that there may not be checkpoints with boss fights in other words, there would be a checkpoint with the boss fight if you died during it. Mm-hmm. But if you were to disconnect from the server in the middle of it, there's no checkpoint for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long as you're connected to the server through the boss fight, your checkpoint would be. But once you're not, it would reset your progress on that boss fight.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even get a chance to reset. Like I said, it was probably taken out or something. I don't know, but it's not a huge loss. it's not a huge loss at all, but it was just odd to me. I don't think I've ever been through anything like that before.
Well, and the fact that you didn't lose anything else that you can.
Yeah, I didn't lose anything
tell.
that I had. Yeah, I didn't lose anything like that.
So that's good.
Yeah. So outside of that, not gaming wise, but I'm working on another project. I got hold of a newer fight stick, the Obsidian 2. So I'm getting the stuff together to modify it to my liking. Bat top, a more powerful spring to have a heavier resistance on the stick when using it. Better buttons and getting all that stuff together and things like that. Problem is, it's been about a decade since I've gotten the stuff together for a new fight stick.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website for it right now.
Yeah. So I think the last time I did this, I was working with.
Ooh, that's kind of nice and sleek.
Yeah, with the old version of Photoshop, and so I haven't used Photoshop in a very long time. So I don't know what the pricing or the aspect is of it now. But someone kept talking about GIMP, GIMP, the free photo editing software.
Yeah.
So I started using that, and it's got pretty much all the same elements there. But I'm going to have to use a tutorial or something to figure out how to use that thing again, because there's a lot of things I want to add to the artwork this time around that I probably didn't get to do the first time I did this. So I'm going to be working on that and putting it in there.
That's a sleek-looking fight stick. It's very large.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of negative space. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of which
room,
I guess is
to work with. Yeah.
Which I guess is fine considering, and you can't see what I'm doing, but I guess it's fine if with your left hand can sit comfortably here moving the stick. Mm-hmm. Your fingers have space down here to tap the buttons, I guess. But that's a real nice sleek fight. I mean, I don't dabble in the fighting genre, as you know.
Yeah.
Although there was a time that I'd never thought I would be going kind of off, not really off on a rant, but kind of moving, little side story. Mm-hmm. When I got my first Nintendo, first home console, Nintendo console. Mm-hmm. And I say the first home console, actually, I was Commodore 64, and that had a stick and one button. Mm-hmm. Kind of Atari-like, just one stick, one button.
Yeah, which was my first, the Atari 2600, yeah.
Or we had it was for, the old submarine game. But it was a paddle that you moved the sub back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Atari had one of those, too.
Yeah, and it was just, there was one button, and you slid. Anyway.
One big thumb button and a twister wheel, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So those are my experiences into home console video gaming until I got my Nintendo. When I got my Nintendo, I was horrible with the controller. Mm-hmm. The controller was just, and so I picked up a joystick because that's how I knew how to play games. Now you put a joystick in my hand that's not a fighting game, mm-hmm. and it feels completely like this does not work. Mm-hmm. So it's strange how I say it's strange, but it's interesting how I guess I evolved to be used to the fact that I was using a thumb pad and buttons and handheld type stuff rather than because I bought what was the NES Advantage. Mm-hmm. That was the one I had. Big buttons. It was only two because you were emulating it. Well, you were representing a Nintendo controller. So all you needed was a start, select, directional movement, and the two buttons. Yeah. Although it did come with a turbo button, which was nice. Mm-hmm.
I think in the end, all that matters is just what you're used to. Yeah. You were doing it for so long with one that you did it for years with another. It's like for me trying to use an Xbox 360 default controller. The fact that the PlayStation and the Xbox, it switches the location of the D-pad and the analog stick.
Yeah.
So if I try to use a Xbox controller, I'm going to have problems because I'm not used to it.
Worse still is the Nintendo controller. Mm-hmm. Their buttons don't mimic the,
especially that N64.
Well, I'm talking about their Nintendo controllers for the Switch.
Yeah, but when you say Nintendos with controllers that don't feel right, I mean that N64 with the analog dead center.
Oh, it was weird.
That was
But on their controls, it's the way it works is I think A is A's on the on the right.
Yeah.
And then B is on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I can't remember. I just know that my muscle memory for Xbox and PlayStation, I know where like the A button and the X button are interchangeable.
Yeah.
But on the Nintendo controller, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember that because I would be hitting... You have to hit like A to accept, and every time I would be doing that, I'm backing out because I'm hitting B, where A in my head should be.
It's the same way for a PlayStation. If you play a domestic American game, hit X to accept, right?
Yeah.
But in the Japanese PlayStation games, hit O to accept. So plenty of times I was hitting O to back out, and I'm like accepting things. Like, wait a minute, I didn't want to do that. Nope, you accept it because it's a import, not a domestic title.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you got to keep that in your head when you're doing a lot of importing, like I did back then.
Yeah, no, I didn't dabble in imports. I was never that aware of gaming to even. I knew importing existed.
Yeah.
But the games that I saw people importing were not my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do fighters like you did, and especially fighters that had weird names that were not Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were pulling in games that didn't have names that I was familiar with. The other games that I didn't have or the other names of games I didn't have familiar with, you know, were a lot of RPGs or a lot of JRPGs that were being moved in, and that's not me. That's not my thing. I'm not interested in it. And so I never really educated myself or informed myself on the whole import side of things. So I never really had to deal with that. Mm-hmm. Although there's a lot of money in the imports from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean,
both in buying and in selling.
Yeah, it was, especially on eBay, especially when something new came out. But yeah, in my case, it was just a bigger variety of games to pick from and titles that you knew for a fact wasn't going to come over to the States or something that was going to take a ridiculously long time to get here. So just go ahead and get it now and play it right now and get the experience with it. And there were plenty of folks online doing the same thing around the country doing that. And they had made guides and things like that. Like this is what, if something wasn't translated, someone would translate it and make a text file or whatever to follow along with.
Right.
Things like that. Or if you were playing a game that you didn't really need to be reading anything. You just wanted to play the game itself. It was pretty self-explanatory what you needed to do to get from point A to point B and go on from there and enjoy yourself playing that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was it was a world I knew existed, but not one that I ever stepped foot in for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a little side note about the controllers that we went through over time.
Mm-hmm.
And how it was like, I don't know when it happened for me, where probably with the Super Nintendo, I would guess, because I wore that NES Advantage stick out, man. Because I mean, I played everything I played with that because I could not do the thumb stuff, but they didn't. It was probably around the time of Super Nintendo when I ditched it. Mainly because I couldn't. There was no. They didn't make this. Did they do a Super NES Advantage? I feel like they did. It sounds familiar, right?
Yeah, sounds like it would be.
Oh man.
Speaking of Nintendo controllers, I think one of the best ones.
They did do a Super NES Advantage.
I think one of the best ones they talked about was the Wavebird. You ever remember that one?
Yeah, Wavebird's great. I still have my Wavebird. Yeah. Wavebird was amazing. And that has nothing to do with just the controller itself or just the button layout or anything like that. It was just how it was wireless. It was my first wireless controller. And it was wireless in the sense of I'm not exactly sure how it was wireless. It's the one that doesn't need line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not exactly sure. Is RF maybe, radio frequency instead of IR? Instead of infrared, I think it was RF. And because I remember James was over at the house when we were testing out the Wavebird, and I said, I'm going to go to the back and tell me if it moves. You know, I was going to let me see what happens when I do it.
Yeah.
Is it doing anything? He's like, yeah, it's moving. Oh, this is great. I can't see anything. I don't know why I thought it was so great to sit in a room not being able to see anything going on and still moving stuff around.
Yeah.
But
it's a reliable low latency RF wireless technology.
Okay, yeah. RF, yeah. I figured that's what it was because it did not need line of sight like most things do, or at least like infrared does. Needs line of sight. But yes, there was a Super Advantage for the Super NES, but I can't remember if that was for if that was just a Japan release. I'm not sure. Anyway, I didn't move beyond that. I stuck with my controllers that came with the box and everything, and then I think I moved on to Sega, and it was basically I got accustomed to it somehow. I don't know, but I got accustomed to it. So
goodness, I was looking up prices for the Wavebird while you were talking about that. Yeah, on eBay, and $70, $80, $150.
Nice.
150.
These are probably not new in box, are they?
No. They're pre-owned. Some refurbished. Yeah. One is I see one for $30. So how used is this one? 85, 30, 29. Yeah, the ones that are like 30 and whatnot. Yeah, you're probably gonna have a lot of blemishes or wear and tear on those.
I have
80 to 100.
I still have my Wavebird. I don't know where it's at, but I still have it. Yeah, no. There's boxes I'd have to go through, but I do still have the Wavebird. I did not get rid of my Wavebird.
Your storage house.
Well, there's a room in the house that has a storage that has a lot of gaming storage.
Well, whatever you name your storage house or storage room, it's in there.
Well, that's got my Nintendo in there. It's probably got my Super Nintendo in there. It's got a lot of controllers. It's got a lot of games. Got a lot of peripherals like light guns and things like that.
You probably got an eBay gold mine in there already.
It's very likely, and I don't know why I necessarily kept them all. I guess it was more of a sense that I was just trying to clean up and get everything organized in a sense of, let's put it away now, I'll come back to it later. Not necessarily to play, but to sort of sort through, take it away, take it and do a trade-in or whatever the case. Look up value, stuff like that, and I just never got around to doing it. But it is there. It is waiting for me. But anyway, so anything else? You messed around with Virtua Fighter? Was that it?
Yeah, Virtua Fighter, Division 2, and Project with my Obsidian 2.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Working on, yeah. Yep. So it's got to get up. So basically, ordering parts and getting them put together, and making sure all the button layouts and things like that is all set and ready when I.
Well, where did you find the Obsidian 2? Where'd you pick that up at?
I got that from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I got it from Amazon, and then parts from here and there for like various places around the internet and everything. Other part is other product I could probably pick up from Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. If I can't find it there, I'll just order.
What kind of parts are you looking for?
Brass screws to hold the plexi in place. It's a certain color that I'm looking for.
Okay.
A lot of places all have silver and black oxide. I'm looking for brass. Or
see, here
gold
I am
color,
thinking you're looking
that.
for like servos or stuff that goes inside the guts of it to.
Well, I got no spare parts to handle that.
Okay.
At my place anyway.
Yeah, I didn't know. So, I didn't know what you were looking for and looking to do, or what kind of work it needed. But as for what I played, Marvel Snap put in time with that, but mostly, if I had known, and I didn't do my research, but if I had known the Speedrunners 2 playtest was just for that weekend, I would have put a lot more time into it. I went to it the other day, and I was like, all right, let's, let me put some Speedrunner time in, and it is nowhere. It's like, nope, thanks for the thanks for the playtest.
Yeah, well,
whereas that stupid coin game that did a playtest, the little rat coin or whatever it's called, the Balatro, but with the coin pusher game thing. Yeah. I could still play that right now if I wanted to.
Well, I was about to ask, what's the standard amount of time you want to give for a playtest or a beta or something like that?
I honestly don't know, because that one that I told you about, the Raccoon, whatever it's called, that thing's still going on. You can still playtest that if you want to. Speedrunners was like a weekend and done. Okay. And I don't know if they'll come back and do it again.
Yeah, and the one for Virtua 5 Revo, that was, I want to say a week. It was about a week we were playing that. So...
Well, this was probably maybe it was just a weekend. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't pay any attention to the time length on it, mainly because I just figured it was like the playtest previous, where it's like, oh, this is going to go on for a while.
Yeah.
Nope, just a weekend. The other thing is they sent me 3 invites, I got it, and it's like, hey, you've got 3 invites for this. Well, as long as the playtest for that other game had been around, I just kind of considered, I got time. I can send out I'll wait and see if anybody wants to pick up one of these, and I'll send them an invite if that's the case, or I'll go through and see if anybody's got it wish listed and send them an invite, or go back to people who have put a bunch of time into Speedrunners 1 and throw them an invite if I want to do that. Then it was done, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do it now, but they're not going to get in. There's nothing to do. So maybe they'll do a refresh and do another playtest weekend for it. I'd enjoy that. So anyway, I couldn't play that. I played more Spider-Man, but mostly the Spider-Man that I played has been, I did one, maybe 2 story missions last week, and have started on another story mission this week. But otherwise, been swinging around the city.
This is just Spider-Man 2?
Yeah. Doing the small, helping out with the small crimes and the things that pop up and stuff. Not really advancing much, other than my level increasing and my abilities, but not really going gung-ho on the thing at all just yet. I have more time. It's almost Zen-like for me to, sit down at about 6 o'clock, fire up the PS5, and just swing around the city for a bit, take care of a few things. I don't get into a story mission because I don't want to have the stress of whatever. I don't know how long a story mission is going to go, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to have... Like, the current story mission that I'm on is investigation, so I had to go...
Yeah, that's going to involve go to this point, do all these tasks, and now you got to go to this point,
yes,
do all these tasks, and then you got to go to another point, do all these tasks, then you got to go back to the one you went to originally.
Something like that. Yeah, this one started with, go here to inspect an apartment. Oh, okay, this leads you to, this leads you to a trail over here, so then you go to that apartment, and you look for this.
Yep.
You do a thing. You uncover something. Somebody shows up, and you have to chase them, or you have to hide from them, and then follow them, and then it sets you up into another thing, and that's where I'm at currently, like halfway in the midpoint of that. And so that's where I'm at the moment, waiting for... I gotta take out a bunch of guys surrounding a building, and then I guess go into the building. I don't know what happens after I do that.
So it's basically the one-and-done type scenarios that you're enjoying right now.
Right, where hey, somebody's robbing a bank, go get them, or there's a car chase, go take them down, that sort of thing. Real little, quick little, being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, basically, is what I'm doing. And that's fine by me for, like, weeknights and stuff like that, where I don't get too involved into it, and it's just a nice little zen-like, relaxing, swinging across the city.
Yeah, new games like that, the ones where you don't have to put too much mental exertion into it. Or or like a friend of mine would say, just turn your brain off and play.
I know, and watching the... Digital Foundry review for Ghost of Yote. And just being on the horse, being in the fields, and just riding your horse through those fields. Looks like it would be the same kind of zen-like that I would enjoy that I get from Spider-Man as well. Just sort of just riding out, exploring, unlocking more of the map, seeing these little things that I could. I don't know if you've seen, well, you probably haven't, but I don't know if you've read reviews for Ghosts, because the review embargo lifted, and it's pulling in some really good numbers. Really, really good numbers. So,
kind of skeptical about that.
Really?
Because they had good numbers for Dragon Age of Veilguard too.
Not as many across the board 10s that this thing's been getting. Plus the fact that
I've always been suspicious of number of 10s across the board, especially with the reputation that major game journalist sites have right now. I mean, it's always best to just make your own.
Well, no, yeah, of course, make your own decision on this.
Make your own decision on that.
I'm never saying you should ever follow a review. I look at reviews just to kind of get an idea of what something is, and if it's pulling in numbers like this, I'm even more intrigued to say, oh, okay, well, let me check this out. Whereas when it's low like this, it's like, I'll keep an eye on it, but not really hyped to check that out as much as I would be if it were pulling in the numbers it was pulling in. And it looks really good. Their review goes into more of the technical aspects of things. And yeah, if you've got a PS5 Pro, that's the place to play it on if you've got one. But the PS5 base is still really good for this game from the things that I was seeing with it. But it looks really, really good. There's some improvements they made over the first game with textures, with physics, the way the leaves move when you move across them and stuff like that, the way it kind of, it follows you. In other words, in the first game, you would go into if you're walking through some leaves or something like that, they're all moving. They all react to you in a sense. But in this one, they're more toned to, if you're running through them, they sort of pick up and follow you in more of a trail, as though you're the one pulling them through and they're not just being scattered. They're being pulled with you as you run through them or something like that. So, I don't know.
Sounds like they put like water physics or something in there. Like
kind of. It looks a little bit more... it adds a little bit more detail to it. They also went over the sound design, and that was really, really good. The way the audio worked, like he showed off a scene and was like, "Hey, make sure you pay attention to these different aspects of what you were hearing, the footsteps, the different background noise of the area that she was in, as well as the music when it was coming in." They went over the different styles that you could play in with the Akira Kurosawa mode to play in, and how the sound was reflective of those films when you're playing in that mode. And then there's a weird mode of like, it's a collaboration with somebody, and I don't know who the person is, but it's like lo-fi beats that play over while you're playing it. He was real skeptical about that, but he showed off a lot of it, both in combat and just exploring. And it worked really well. It worked really, really well. I was very impressed with this. So yeah, Ghosts of Yotei is not out yet. I think it's coming out next week, right?
About a week from now.
I think October. Yeah. Is it October 3rd? Is it the first?
Is that a Friday?
Yeah, that's Friday.
Yeah, sounds about Friday.
So yeah, that's on the way out, and it's getting really good reviews. So if you were interested or looking forward to that, I think you're going to be all right with it. What else Sonic Cross Worlds Racing is coming out as well. That's been getting, again, going back to reviews, that's been getting a lot of good reviews. And the only way that the easiest way and the best way that I can make that comparison, or at least make that understanding of how good the reviews are, is the fact that in the world of kart racers, most people consider Mario Kart king when it comes to that. Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart World, the ones that are out there, it's just like, it's Mario Kart. They know how to do the kart racers. They've been doing it. They can get it done. The Sonic one is giving it a run for its money as far as how good that one also is. To get two amazing kart racers in 1 year, and also to get just a massive amount of very well-reviewed games. Whether or not they're great games that you would experience is obviously your own. That's going to be your own experience. But review-wise, God, what did we get this year? We got Mario Kart World. We got Sonic Cross Worlds Racing. We got Death Stranding 2, which got some fantastic reviews on that. We got Ghost of Yotei, fantastic reviews on that. I feel like there's something else that I'm completely overlooking. What was before Death Stranding 2? Something came out before. Oh, Donkey Kong Bonanza was another really good reviewed game for the Switch. But there was something else prior to that came out. Clair Obscur 33.
Yeah.
Another fantastically reviewed game that came out this year.
Yeah.
And there's probably another one that I'm completely overlooking.
One of those sleeper titles that came out of nowhere and just blew it out the water. They were really good.
Yeah, there's probably another one, like I said, that I'm overlooking, but it has just been a very good year. And
Shadows?
AC Shadows?
Was it well reviewed?
I don't know. Because I'm kind of unsure on that, I'm going to say no, probably not.
Okay. It was a AAA title?
I feel like it was, and I feel like it released earlier in the summer. But boy, I can't remember what it was. I'd have to go back and look. I've got my games released in 2025. I'll check that calendar.
Night Rain?
What is that?
Elden Ring, Night Rain.
Maybe. Oh, what the... It changed my... I typed in games released 2025, and I guess it auto-corrected to Ganesh Chaturthi.
What?
It's a Hindu festival.
Okay. You going?
No.
Okay.
No. It happened on September 14th. It's already done. Oh, wait, that's for next year. Never mind. Let's go with games released in 2025. I'm sorry to have to go through this. What do we have? Clear Obscene, Ghost of Yotei, Hollow Knight Silk Song, which is massive.
Another one that did really good.
I know, a massive, really good one there. What else did we have? There was Wow, you're right. Elden Ring Night Rain was out there, so that probably did very well for it. Death Stranding 2, like we said. Still looking through here. The Altars was... Blue Prince, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Anyway, yeah, there's just been really good... it's been a really good year for games. And we have an article...
That and Ragebound. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Yeah.
That one came out, too.
There was an article in Bloomberg about... The headline of the article says, the video game industry has a problem. There are too many games. And I'll go over that... I'll go over that article here when we come back here. We got to take a break. When we come back, we might jump into that, but I've also got, oh God, what else do we have here? There was plenty of stuff. We had a Sony State of Play that came out earlier this week, so we've got that to go over. There was the Xbox over at the Tokyo Game Show, and of course they had the release of you could now pre-order the Xbox Ally X or whatever the thing is called, the handheld... It's a handheld Xbox, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
They're calling it that, but it's not technically that. But anyway, we'll come back and we'll go over that. We're going into the more modern games here, but stuff that released earlier this year. And this one is from a game called Star of Providence. And the title of this track is called Gone Fishing. So, yeah. I always like when they put fishing in my games. Anyway, we'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. And welcome back into In-Game Chat. This is music from Monster Hunter Wilds, the main theme for that game. So I'm going to read this article here from Bloomberg. Talks about there's just too many games. On September 4th, the independent game developer Team Cherry released Hollow Knight Silksong, the long-anticipated sequel to an indie gem that was 7 years in the making. It's been pegged as one of the best games of 2025. On September 25th, the independent game developer Supergiant Games released the full version of Hades 2, a long-anticipated sequel to an indie gem that was 5 years in the making. Reviews pegged it as one of the best games of 2025. Between these two instant classics came a slew of critically acclaimed games, including a remake of the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the latest entry in the popular Borderlands franchise, and a cooperative puzzle game starring 2 Lego pieces. There was also a new Dying Light zombie action game, an intriguing adventure game, which is the, what is it? this? Let's pull it up. Oh, Hell Is Us on Steam. And a new entry in the long-running Silent Hill franchise. And that was just September. Over the past few years, the video game industry has faced a difficult contraction period during which companies have laid off thousands of employees due to flattened growth. There have been many reasons for this shift, such as a huge COVID-era investment that did not pan out. But one problem stands above the rest. There are too many video games. In 2024, a staggering 18,626 games were released on Steam, according to Steam database. I don't know if just to jump out of that article for a minute, I don't know if it goes on further to kind of explain that, but I don't know what he's counting as games, if he's counting every single game that released on Steam, which, yes, is a lot. Mm-hmm. But most of those are people who aren't putting any money into that game. They came up with an idea, or they came up with something and said, I can make a game and I'm going to put it out there, and Steam lets them publish it. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of games on Steam that I wouldn't necessarily say are even worth being on Steam, you know?
Like I said about PlayStation Network, too, there are plenty of games on there like 49 cents. And it's like, how was this made? Mm-hmm. And how was this allowed to be put on the store? Things like that.
But Steam database that's an increase of around 93% from 2020, when only 9,656 games were released. This glut of new releases stems from a number of factors, including widening interest in games, the rise of cheaper and easier development tools, and lower barriers to entry. There was once a time when it was impossible to create a video game and get it into people's hands unless you had a publisher that could get you prime shelf position at a brick-and-mortar store. But over the past decade, as customers pivoted en masse from physical to digital titles, the playing field has been leveled. Most of last year's Steam games went undiscovered and unplayed by a majority of players, but a surprising number were received quite well. Of the 1,400 games released last year that garnered more than 500 reviews, an indication that they were played by at least a few thousand people, more than 260 of those were rated positively by 90% or more of the players. More than 800 of them scored 80% or better. In other words, this isn't like the 1980s when the United States gaming market crashed due to a flood of poorly made products. Today, there are too many video games, and many of them are good or great video games. Today's titles are also competing not just with the new games released every year, but with countless old service games designed to keep people playing forever. The three most played games on Steam are almost always Counter-Strike, Dota 2, and PUBG Battlegrounds, all multiplayer games that have been around for years. Some of the other biggest games in the world, such as League of Legends and the top titles on Roblox, would be alongside them if they were on Steam. They are not. The market for new video games isn't just oversaturated, it's nearly impenetrable. Teams of hundreds of people are spending years of their lives developing games that are destined to get lost in the sea of new releases. It's no longer enough to simply be a good game. More than 120 games released in 2025 have scored higher than 80 on Metacritic. That's a pretty good game. The ones that earn more than 90 tend to the ones that earn more than a 90 tend to hit, but many of the others have failed to take off. It's the main reason that games such as Wildgate and Sunderfolk, both developed by Dreamhaven and released this year to positive receptions, have struggled to make a dent. And that list gets bigger and bigger. Not sure if there's any solution to this problem. Returning to the era of gatekeepers would be a regression, and the increased democratization of game development has led to more creative and interesting products all around. This glut may be intimidating for players, but it also presents them with more choices than ever before, so long as they can ignore the FOMO of not jumping on every single new release as soon as it hits. But for the companies that are investing hundreds of millions of dollars into games that need to move huge numbers to break even, this is no small challenge, and it's just getting harder every year. So that is the article there for the fact that the problem is there's just too many video games. I would kind of, we just did, I just, earlier in the show, I just mentioned that, shovelware, that's the word I was looking for, Thar, thank you. Shovelware, which is just, here's a whole bunch of crap games that we're putting out there.
Shovel, yeah.
We didn't put money into it, but we might make some money off of it, but probably not much. So, yeah. But yeah, we were just talking about the fact that it's been a really good year for video games. If you're, I could go through the list again. Like if you were an Elden Ring fan, you got Night Rain. That's out for you to play. If you're an RPG fan, Clair Obscur was a huge hit for that. Mm-hmm. If you're an action type whatever fan, then Death Stranding 2 is sitting there for you. It's just been, even if you're a Nintendo guy, you've got, Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. At the very least, there's probably some others on that system that you could go with as well that I'm not too familiar with. But I don't know. It's been, you've been eating good as far as games are concerned. If, of course, you are out there buying every game that comes out when it comes out. Mm-hmm. Or at least the AAAs or the big, the big reviewed well type, big hitter type games. Mm-hmm. I want to play Death Stranding 2, but I haven't played the first one. And by the way, the FOMO he talks about, it is there. But if you can survive like the first week, you're good.
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking about it that first week. But once that's done, they're talking about the next game that's coming up.
Yeah. It's not like the game is going to disappear.
It's not, So Bonanza's going to be around forever. So I'll just, I can get on that. And there's no multiplayer with it, so I'll get on that when I can get in on it. Mm-hmm. The Mario Kart thing, again, I can get on that. I still have to set up my Switch 2, which I haven't done. So there's that aspect. I'm playing Spider-Man 2. That game came out in, when? 2021?
A while back, yeah. And what am I playing? Division 2. How old is that game?
Oh, my God, yeah, exactly. Marvel Spider-Man 2 came out. Where are you at? 2023. Yeah, came out in 2023. So, I'm playing a game that's that many years old or whatever. So, but yeah, there's a lot out there, and it just continues to. I say it continues to pile up. I'm not sure it can sustain itself in that regard. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In other words, if you're releasing this many great games and you are looking for a return on your investment type of stuff, well, if you're in a year where we've got a ton of really good releases, it's likely that yours might not be. GTA is a good one to look at. Again, I hate to go back to GTA, but GTA 6 coming out next year. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that's going to do not only to the video game market as far as...
I think it's going to make folks wait.
How long is it going to sustain itself? I say sustain itself, but how long is it going to just sort of keep other games from being seen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're going to make.
How big is when it gets dropped into the water? How much water is it going to displace when it goes in? So yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot out there.
Yeah,
and right now I'm really just putting.
I would just say the gamers just have to do their research, see what they got to offer. If it is your liking, pick it up. If not, let it go back, and maybe let it go in the discount or the bargain bin for you. Even give it a shot.
Well, as always, when it's this time of year, hang on because I figured that Sonic Cross Worlds Racing is going to be discounted. Well, the problem is that it's going to be discounted on console, but it's not going to be discounted on PC. Mm-hmm. That's usually the case, and that's where I will normally want to play those things is on PC, but should be discounted for Black Friday. A lot of the stuff that is being released, so you got Ghost of Yotei. That I don't think I'll see. You may see like a $10 discount on that for Black Friday, Maybe. I feel like it's too big of a deal for Sony because it is a first-party publisher or a first-party title.
And there's a possibility it might not get discounted at all.
There's that. Yeah, there's absolutely that possibility. Like I'm saying, if you see a discount, it's probably going to be maybe $10, maybe. If there is one at all, it will be very, very minuscule as far as a discount, and just because of how soon it was released. Although we've seen things like, we've seen the Assassin's Creed franchise release and then 2 weeks later have a massive price cut for Black Friday. So it can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen. But yeah, there's a lot out there for you to pick from. There's a lot of games available House of Tesla just released this week, which is another one of my favorite puzzle games from the House of Da Vinci people.
Mm-hmm.
They released that. I saw a new City Builder. I saw a City Builder get a new trailer, but it was the third in the series, so I went back and I looked at the other two, and I was like, well, that's great, and they're on sale. I don't remember when they released, and I unfortunately am forgetting what their name is, but I'd have to look at my wish list on Steam to tell you. For me, there's the Indiana Jones DLC that I didn't pick up. There is Death Stranding 2, which I haven't picked up, which I would like to play. Still not into Borderlands 4. That's still not pulling me. Borderlands 4 isn't.
Never will be. Because DLC's coming, but even with that, there's not.
I would imagine the only way it pulls me in would have to be a group of people like you or like my
playing with folks.
Yeah, hit me up and be like, hey, dude, we're doing this thing on Borderlands 4. You really should get in on this. It's really good, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, let me check that out, and I'll try. And that would get me into it if that was the case.
Yeah.
But it's going to take that. And it's going to take more than one person coming in and being like, hey, come play with me, and do that. I need a bigger group than that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just go on your one thing, and that's just us out there playing type of thing. Would love, especially with a game like Borderlands 4 where you can have, 4-player co-op type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's still in there, right?
Should be. It's like
it very well should be.
Better be. So it's like 4 different characters to pick from.
Yeah.
Right? So and it always has been in the past. So
yeah,
why would you?
You wouldn't. Now? It's just the fact that that's how little I've been paying attention to it to know that if that's still in there, and I'm sure it is. It has to be. I'm looking at our chat room here. Let's see. Lethal Migrant says, I play NHL 26. It's basically the same game since 2011, so I just refer to it as an NHL 11.15. AC Wraith says, for years now I've been spending Steam gift cards during the winter sale and not even playing them because I'm addicted to a 2017 or so game. What game are you playing that's from 2017? And I will wait for his response as we move on because...
Hey, that's still good.
We're on a delay. Yeah, definitely.
When was the last time you played that Pac-Man Championship Edition?
I know, it's been a while.
I still boot that up every now and then. How old is that game?
He said that 2017 game is called A Robot Named Fight, which I've heard about. Yeah.
I've heard about that one too, yeah.
Yep. So, there's Pac-Man, and there's another Pac-Man game coming out too, Pac-Man World 2 Repack or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So is that... there is... I don't know. It's just a lot of games. It's a lot. It's a lot of games. I just had a calendar up for releases. Let's see. Games calendar 20. That's what I was looking for because Game Informer does a very good games calendar where I can look at just the entire list of stuff that has come out just this year alone. And go through that and kind of look at it. What have we got? Let me look. Let's look at October. Just see what we got here. Ghost of Yote is October 2nd. Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 release October 2nd. Those are remakes, but it's a thing. Let me see what else we got. I'm not including early access games. We Were Here Together. Well, that's a Switch release. That's the other thing. A lot of these that I'm looking at are getting Switch releases, or it's already released, but it's getting released on another console. Battlefield 6, October the 10th. Little Nightmares 3, October the 10th. Ball X Pit, October the 15th. That's more for me, but yeah.
That's you.
Pokemon Legends Z through A, October 16th. I'm not a Pokemon guy, but it's a Pokemon game, and it's going to get eyes, and it's going to get people buying it. Ninja Gaiden 4 on October 20th. There's a revamp of Painkiller, which was an amazing game, by the way. I know it's a first-person shooter, and you're thinking, well, how amazing can a first-person shooter be? Well, Painkiller did really, really well. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, October the 21st. Painkiller, by the way, is October the 21st. Dispatch from the folks that did the...
What, Wolf Among Us?
Yes.
Telltale?
Yeah, Telltale.
Yeah, I think I saw clips of that. It was a pretty interesting concept.
Yeah,
actually.
You
dispatch superheroes.
Superheroes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so basically interacting with and getting along with your workplace of heroes and civilians.
Yeah, that's October 22nd. I'm still in the month of October with everything that I've talked to you about. Moonlighter 2, well, that's an early access, but that's October 23rd. Plants vs. Zombies, Replanted, October 23rd. I don't know. I'm not a Jackbox Party guy, but the 11th one in that series is getting released October 23rd. Once Upon a Katamari, October 23rd. What else do we have? The Outer Worlds 2, October 29th. Arc Raiders, October 30th. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, I am. It's like a looter shooter type thing. I'm familiar with the name, not too much. It's a PvP type thing, but that's getting an October 30th release. The HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest 1 and 2 releasing October 30th. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, October 30th. Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage, October 30th. Mina the Hollower, October 31st. Well, that says Switch. Oh, yeah, no, that works. The Terminator 2D No Fate, the 2D, not remake, but it's the same people, I think, that did the new RoboCop that got really good reviews, or
The Rogue City?
Yeah. They're doing Terminator 2D No Fate, I think, on that one. That's October 31st as well. So it's a lot. That's just October. I won't even go into November. Of course, that's when COD hits, but still. That's October. That's a lot. I don't know how great those video games are going to be, but I am almost positive that you're going to see some pretty good reviews for a large number of those. And when I say pretty good reviews, I'm talking about 80 or above. Some people would say a pretty good review is like 90. I mean, people put the bar really high on what they want to consider as like a really great game. Even games that score 80% or above, still pretty good. They're still decent games. I played plenty of them that I've enjoyed more than I would imagine some that have scored higher than that in the 90s or so. I mean, it's all about you and your preference, but don't discount the games that are under 90%. They're not necessarily bad. But, of course, it all depends on you. Still, my point is, that's a lot of games. That's a lot of new games coming out. There was a ton I didn't list because they're getting released on other systems. They've been out for a while. They're getting released on something else, or they were in an early access release or something like that. So there's a lot that didn't get mentioned in that regard. We got to go. We're at the top of the hour here. When we come back, we'll go over the PlayStation State of Play that we saw and the Tokyo Game Show that's going on as well. We'll go over some of that, too. That's all coming up. We've got music here from Frag Punk. The first season, it is the menu music for Frag Punk. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back into In-Game Chat. This music comes from a game called Knights in Tight Spaces. They had a game called Fights in Tight Spaces. And then they released a sort of sequel called Knights in Tight Spaces.
Is it like an exploration type thing?
It's not.
Okay.
It is a... what is a good way to put that? And I'm gonna. The name eludes me as far as the type. Mm-hmm. Basically, isometric view of a small space. Mm-hmm. You control and you move. You move the floor is a grid, and so you can move forward, backward, left, or right. You know, not necessarily in a diagonal pattern or whatever. You don't get that kind of movement. The enemy comes from that. You then have a card selection choice of what to do, whether it's kick or push back or throw or switch sides or something like that. So it's a card. It's almost like a card battler sort of type thing.
Okay.
But the moves that you make are listed on those cards as you play them. There was a demo for Knights in Tight Spaces, and there may still be. For you to try that out, at least on PC, I know. Anytime I mention these things about demos, mostly I'm speaking strictly for PC. That does not mean that there's not a demo available to you on the console. I just know from my experience that the demo is on PC. So
yeah, I was looking it up. It's they describe it as turn-based tactical game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. So when you were describing it, I was thinking first thing I thought about was Invisible Ink. A grid moving around like that, trying to getting aspects.
In a sense, yes.
Cards in there.
No, there wasn't. But you do have you have a set amount of moves per turn.
Yeah.
And you can use your cards to enact those moves.
Yeah.
So Xbox was at the Tokyo Game Show, and they showed off the setting and the reveal of Forza Horizon 6, and that is going to be taking place in Japan. And it'll be also released in 2026 for that one. We got Call of Duty Black Ops 7. They showed off the multiplayer maps that are set in Japan. This is the Tokyo Game Show, so keep that in mind when everything I tell you about deals with Japan. 007 First Light showed a new cast member, Gemma Chan as Dr. Selena Tan from Japan. Ninja Gaiden 4, Japan. Again, this is what this was all about. The gameplay overview featured Master Ninja difficulty action and a training mode. They were showing that off as well. We have a review. We have a release date on that. Yeah, October 21st. Because I just mentioned that in the list of October games that are coming out. Mm-hmm. We got a new story trailer for, I guess, an add-on or a DLC for Monster Hunter. Oh, no. I'm sorry. It's Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection. Not Monster Hunter Wilds, which is the music that we had earlier in the show. Hitman World of Assassination is getting Bruce Lee, for some reason, as your partner. That's going to be available from... actually, right now until November 20th. September 25th through November 20th.
Or one of the celebrity
apparently, yeah, with Bruce Lee. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024's World Update 20 was released earlier this week. It adds a lot of detail to Japanese locations. Which, by the way, seeing Microsoft Flight Simulator pop up in Sony's PlayStation State of Play was very weird.
Yeah.
To see that. I was grateful for it, but to see it, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's like back in the day when you saw...
you never thought you would see a day like this, you know?
When you saw Sonic on a Nintendo console.
I know.
Yeah.
That was
a little jarring, but...
Was that for... The first time we get that crossover, was that done with Smash Brothers? Is that the first time we got Sonic in a Nintendo game? Outside of, I would say outside of Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
I was about to mention that one. No, I mean, but in my case, I wouldn't think about a crossover. I was thinking about a straight Sonic game on a Nintendo console.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
See, or I'll give you another example. When Virtua Fighter showed up on the PlayStation, Sega got out of the
got
out of the console market, so they just put their stuff on other stuff there and went from there. But it was still a little jarring to see that in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But to see a Microsoft title on a Sony console, and still waiting yet to see a Sony title on a Microsoft console.
Yep.
They still got a good grip on that. What else did we get from Tokyo Game Show? Gungrave Gore Blood. Oh, God. Wait, no. I wasn't finished with the title. Gungrave Gore Blood Heat is the title of a game.
Now, I've got Gungrave Gore. I didn't know there was a...
Well, this one's called Blood Heat, maybe, I guess. Is the next one.
DLC or just an updated version? I'll just find out.
Well, let me look. Hang on.
Yeah.
It's newly added systems. These updates will be felt in level design, motion. And yes, you'll be playing as Beyond the Grave, who was once known as Brandon Heat.
Brandon Heat, yep.
And will have full access to his dual Cerebus pistols and the gigantic Death Hauler that can be used as a weapon and a shield.
Yes, it's coffin.
Okay. Oh, Gungrave Gore Blood Heat is a remake of 2022's Gungrave Gore.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, so the same game.
So that would tell you.
So same game that's still in my backlog, but yeah.
And they're updating, they said it's going to have newly added systems that preserve the legacy while delivering a modern and more explosive feel. Modern? It's 2 years, 2022 to 2025?
Yeah.
What's different?
Remember that conversation we had about remakes and the span? How many years does it take to actually constitute as a remake or whatever?
That's a quick one.
That ties into Bloomberg. There are too many video games. Yeah, there's too many remakes also as well because they're running out of ideas apparently.
I would agree with you on that. Although some remakes I would say have been worth it.
Mm-hmm.
The Shadow of the Colossus remake was definitely a worthy remake to be done.
Yeah. I want to say Lollipop Chainsaw Repop.
Possibly. I never played that one, but probably, given how much effort they put in there. I would say Metal Gear Solid Delta, the one that just released from Konami, was a really good...
Yeah.
Like, when you put the effort into it, and it's not... This that we're talking about, although I've not played any of them, you have.
Yeah.
The Gungrave Gore thing. This feels like, we had some new tech and we're going to throw it in there. Yeah. Whereas some of these others are like, no. We have a completely overhauled thing, and we're going to put it in there. You know what I mean?
It's like you got respect for the original source material.
Oh, man. I just got a text from Mitch. I forget. I know you listen, Mitch, and I'm so great. Although the fact that your team is playing right now, I'm surprised that you're actually listening to the show. He mentioned the Dreamcast Sonic games on GameCube.
Yeah,
being one of those things where it's like I never thought I would see the day.
Never thought I'd see the day
But yeah, what's another really good?
A really good remake, but where the people put effort into it.
And I feel like for the launch of the PS5. Yeah, I would definitely say that would be a one that would be on that list.
Yeah,
I would not count the Last of Us stuff anywhere in there for that. I wouldn't throw those in.
I think it's universally accepted. Those were just money grabs.
Feels
more
like
than anything
it.
Else. Yeah.
It really, really feels like it.
Okay, really, really good quality remakes.
Worth the price of admission.
Worth the price. Yeah.
I would, like I said, Shadow of the Colossus really, really worked in there, and I feel like there's another really good one out there that I'm. Okay, Resident Evil on the GameCube was insane.
Yes. It was the type of game where I wanted to play that, and I was thinking, okay, they really upped the detail. Everything looks really nice and crisp and clean, and I know they're going to put those spiders in there, and that literally held me up from picking it up. So I'm like, I'd like to, and I didn't have the system, but it was one of the things that I was willing to actually consider getting the GameCube for. Yeah, back then. Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, still have my GameCube.
Yep.
We were talking about Wavebird and everything else. I still have my GameCube. Yeah, that Resident Evil game was That was. You talk about a glow up. That was insane when you first saw the interior of that mansion on the GameCube.
Yeah.
Whoof! Wow. It looked good. What else did we get at the Tokyo Game Show? Age of Mythology Heavenly Spear has a new expansion that is set in Japan. Again, I didn't know that a prerequisite for presenting at the Tokyo Game Show meant that all of your games need to be tied into Japan in some way or another.
No, it couldn't hurt.
It doesn't, obviously. It's the market that you're there for. There's a Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly remake. That I feel like, when was Fatal Frame 2? How long ago was that? 2003.
Okay.
You're good. Okay?
Yeah.
You're all right.
Yeah.
Regardless, it doesn't even matter how great the remake is. The fact that it's been that many years since the game came out, it's worthy.
Yeah, 2 decades. You're good. You're good.
Double Dragon revives extra mode. They talked about that. What else do we have? Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Excuse me.
No. Speaking of Double Dragon, I saw the promo for it, and I was like, I played Double Dragon back in the arcades and on NES and Master System, things like that, but it just didn't really move me.
There it is. Okay, got both of them out. Sorry. There's some game called Winter Burrow. It's a cozy woodland survival game. Winter Burrow is a cozy woodland survival game, and it stars a young city mouse. He's a city mouse. Yeah, I'm a country mouse. Anyway, city mouse who returns to the wild. The game is narrated by an older mouse through nursery rhymes, which will actually help you survive the harsh winter. Don't worry, as you will meet friends along the way and work to build a place to thrive instead of just survive. It is released on November 12th, 2025, Winter Burrow. That sounds interesting. I will have to look at that trailer eventually. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, I don't know what Project Evil Bane is, but apparently it got announced as well. Rhythm Doctor. I should watch this Tokyo Game Show presentation, because there's a lot of stuff here that I don't recognize at all. So, that was Xbox at the Tokyo Game Show. So, we are... Look, I'm not going to go into the Sony State of Play yet, because we got like 7 minutes before we hit the top of the hour. So... Or I say top of the hour, bottom of the hour. We're going to take a break here. Man, there was stuff I wanted to get into. Basically, I wanted to get into the Mario Galaxy re-releases and the price tag for those. Because there was an article about that, and I kind of wanted to get into it. There is... Where did it go? There was something else in here. Oh, I haven't added it to our news. That's the problem. There is what seems to be a near $50 billion buyout of EA on the horizon. Not something I should be getting into with only about 6 more minutes left before we have to go to a break. But it's a group of financial investors are in advanced talks with EA to go private with a valuation worth around $50 billion. And it's the Saudis that are getting into this. The deal could be announced as soon as next week. If it is, then we'll cover it. I would like to go into that.
I'm trying to think what Saudi Arabia's been getting into video game wise. Okay, you said Saudi Arabia's getting into the EA thing, possibly.
They're honestly, Saudi Arabia's getting into a lot of things, not necessarily video game wise. They got into well. They got into golf with the Live Tour. I think they're pulling in F1 now.
Okay.
I want to say F1 is getting the Saudi money as well.
I think they bought Evo.
Did they?
I think I got to look it up, but I think they were getting involved in Evo, and I know they had got some money with SNK.
Okay.
Makers of King of Fighters.
Yeah,
I think they did that. So yeah.
And I know big with the wrestling, with WWE.
Yep.
Big partnership with them in that regard. The EA buyout, I don't know if that's just the company they looked at and said that's the one we want, or if it's because EA has a pretty good amount of sports titles, and maybe that's something they're looking into. I'm not sure. And it's something we'll know more about, obviously, if this deal goes through, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will go over the state of play. There was a lot of good stuff from the state of play. One in particular that I was hoping for that we actually did get. And we got a range of a date. We didn't get a specific date. We got a range of a date for it. Anyway, we'll talk about it coming up. Music here from, it's an EA game, actually. Split Fiction. Another really well-reviewed title that is very co-op focused. It's the same people that did It Takes Two and Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, A Way Out,
Yep.
The other one. So this is the main theme from Split Fiction. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back into In-Game Chat. By now, you're probably familiar with this theme as it runs throughout every single track in some way or another for Astrobot. You still haven't fired that up yet, have you?
Okay. Still on my hard drive, though.
This track is called Rattled, and it's from Astrobot. I don't usually pick games of the years for whatever, but that'd be my game of the year 2024. Would have to be. Just the amount of game that is there, the amount of value, just everything. It's just really, really good. Really good. Just charm out the ears. Just fantastic. All right, so let's talk about Sony's State o' Play that we got earlier this week. Saros was shown off, and that is, I don't know if they pronounce their name House Marquee or House Mark. I think it's House Mark. But those are the guys that did, it's your bullet stuff. Returnal. But they also did, this goes back on the PS4 days, and I'm trying to remember what it was called.
You say bullet stuff, I keep thinking Max Payne.
No, like, kind of bullet hell stuff, you know?
Okay, bullet hell, I think of Ikaruga.
Right.
Yeah.
Not necessarily as...
Vert shooters.
Yeah, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
What was their first game? It was on the PlayStation 4, I think. It may have been the 3. But it was on the PlayStation 4. You were a ship and you were rescuing people. It was all pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
And you were a ship that could go up and down.
Resogun.
Resogun, that's what it was. Yeah. That was their first title. And now I struggle to remember what their second title was. But they sort of kept advancing the sort of shmup bullet hell thing that they had.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of kept advancing that till they got to Returnal, where it was like, we're going to make a third-person bullet hell. Mm-hmm. And they did with Returnal. And, Saros, it's a bullet hell third-person shooter action in the vein of Returnal. Fans of Returnal and shoot-'em-ups like Ikaruga or Cave's brand of action games might want to watch. Saros is coming to PlayStation 5 on March 20th of next year. Then we saw Flight Simulator coming to PlayStation 5, and that'll happen December 8th. Battlefield 6, got to look at that. Got the single-player campaign side of Battlefield 6, which is October the 10th. Expect a big, explosive story to complement the frantic multiplayer side of BF6. Kind of looking forward to Battlefield 6 again. More so than I am COD, obviously, but that's because COD's at at this point, they should just put years on them instead of numbers. Call of Duty 2025. Call of Duty 2026, you know?
Is it getting into the realm of sports games like said?
Well, they're yearly, man.
Yeah.
They're every single year.
Yeah,
Battlefield, not so much, but COD, yes, every year.
Yeah, what did my grand say? It was like NHL 11.15.
Basically, yeah, exactly. You say the same
every year.
Call of Duty. Yeah. Then we got Deus Ex Remastered. That was strange to see. Deus Ex, the original, I never played. Deus Ex Human Revolution that came out back in the 20-teens somewhere.
Deus Ex, it says June 22nd of 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original game.
And I never played that.
Yeah.
But this game's coming out February 5th. It re-release promises visual upgrades, modern enhancements, and quality of life improvements for a new generation of operatives. I never did play the first. I've heard good things about it. The Human Revolution, the one that they released, like I said, back in the 20-teens, was great. Yeah. Had a really good time playing that. Mm-hmm. Had even better time because, it gave you an option of 3 different endings, I think, that you could choose from with which way you wanted to go with the story on that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it was really, really good. Oh, they showed off Halloween, which why would you not as we approach the October month here? Ilphonic's latest horror game is an adaptation of Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween. We got our first look at gameplay, and we got a release date, September 6th of next year.
Why do I get the feeling that's going to be pushed back?
I don't know. I don't think it will. I think it'll make that date, or it'll get pushed back to release closer to October. Mm-hmm. Possibly.
I don't sense.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a big pushback if it gets one. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be, again, more of a marketing pushback than it will of a it ain't ready yet pushback. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, a pushback is a pushback. There's multiple reasons for a pushback, yeah. Like you don't want to compete with a certain title or whatever. But
sometimes
Halloween should come out in October.
Yeah.
That just fits to me. So, yeah.
But I'm glad it's being done. I probably still won't play it. I'm not big on those, I don't know what they're called now, but if they don't have a genre, they should. The whole
survival.
It's where it's all multiplayer, and it's
team survival.
Kind of, but if one person ends up playing as the villain,
yeah,
whereas everybody else plays as people trying to survive.
Yeah, there's plenty of games like that, but I've never really known the name of the genre.
I feel like there's a genre for it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
but I think it was. Is it 7 Days to Die? Do they do that? Is that one they do?
I think so, but I haven't played them either. But I know they exist. I just haven't played them, so I never thought about what the.
What was the one game that came out way long time ago? It was 2K. It was 2K Games that released it. Not Prey. You played co-op, 4 people to a team, and you were chasing these big monster type things, big animals, monsters.
Evolve.
That's what it was. It was Evolve. Yeah. It was Evolve, and somebody was able to play as the big monster type thing that you were hunting as well.
Yeah.
If you did that, if you didn't have to, you could just play co-op where all of 4 of you were chasing after the monster.
4 or 5 different classes. Pick your class and go over there. The trapper, the hunter, that type of thing.
I really liked Evolve.
Yeah. I don't think it did too well.
It didn't.
It didn't do too well commercially. Yeah.
No, it didn't. But I really kind of liked it. Yeah. What else do we get to look at? The next game, I thought this was from Disco Elysium, guys. The next game from Disco Elysium Studio ZAUM got a fresh showing of gameplay at State of Play, described as a narrative-first espionage RPG steeped in paranoia, surrealism, and a struggle for redemption. Players assume control of a brilliant yet unfortunate operant in a world where trust is scarce, betrayal is just around every corner, and failure is inevitable. Zero Paradies for Dead Spies is out in 2026. It looked good. I really liked the way that it looked. It did. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the people that made Disco Elysium. It has to be. Just given the look of it, has to be. And I've played very little of Disco Elysium, but I knew the moment I saw that, I was like, Disco guys.
Yeah, I think about the title. I think about one of those comedic detective names, like a Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid or something like that. Like Zero Parades for Dead Spies or something like that. It kind of fits the same type there.
Coming in February, they showed off Neo 3, right? It's Neo, right? Neo 3. Mm-hmm. A new release date trailer confirms that it will arrive February 6th. Embark as this person that I'm not going to try and pronounce the name.
Tokugawa Takechio.
Thank God. The protagonist forced from the shogunate throne as he confronts his rebellious brother,
Tokugawa Kunimatsu,
in a battle that transcends time. Thank you for the help.
You're welcome.
Code Vein 2, that's something you might be interested in.
That's something that did stick out to me, Code Vein 2. But back to Neo, it's almost like what happened with Borderlands. It got to, I think it was somewhere after, when I played 1 completely, but then 2 I played, and I stopped, I think, early on, and I just never got back into it since. Mm-hmm. It's just another one of those unfinished titles that I should go back into. And by the time 3 comes out, maybe I'll have time to just pick up, blow the dust off of 2 or whatever, and play that and see what happens and see if I can get back into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Code Vein 2 is something I would look into because I played when did Code Vein get released? When was the first Code Vein?
What
was it, 4?
You think I'll try and look it up.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, it's not Cod Vein.
Code. Late September of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but me and some friends of mine played a lot of that. Yeah. Repeated playthroughs, kind of like we would Dark Souls or whatnot.
Crimson Desert was another thing they got shown off. The open-world action-adventure game developed by Pearl Abyss. Q1 2026. It's out on PlayStation 5 on March 19th, 2026. Let It Die Inferno. Yeah. It is a roguelike survival action game set in the Let It Die franchise. I have no interest in it, but all right, I'm glad it's coming out. Chronoscript, The Endless End. Excuse me. A sketchy-looking Metroidvania. Chronoscript, The Endless End cast players as the editor, trapped within manuscripts, hoping to unravel the mystery and guide the endless story to its finality in this exploration action-adventure game. It is out next year at some point. The 7 Deadly Sins Origin. It is a free-to-play open-world RPG that is coming out January 28th. We got a God of War 20th Anniversary controller that looked very low effort. We're going to get you a white controller and then paint a red stripe on the side.
I want to say no effort.
I'm just saying, you put that next to the Astrobot controller, and I'm going Astrobot controller every time.
I mean, what I say didn't break. All you need is some tape and a can of Rust-Oleum, and there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully there's something on the back of the thing that makes it look more,
I don't know,
presentable, I guess. But
they did mention the fact that it is God of War 20th Anniversary, and I feel like there's more to come with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like maybe this is just the first of it, and maybe we're going to get some remakes or some...
a collection?
Some kind of a collection, something like that. And, of course, the game closed with our look at Wolverine. Mm-hmm. The guys who made Spider-Man that I'm currently playing, Insomniac Games, they showed off officially this time gameplay from the Wolverine game set to release on PlayStation 5 in the fall of next year. We got costumes, we got street clothes, we got a lot of violence. We also got some other X-Men characters in there. I saw Omega Red and a Sentinel and Mystique were in there as well. Mm-hmm. And a whole lot of blood. Boy, there's a lot of blood. Mm-hmm. Which is fine. One of the things, I think
the shock value is that it came from Insomniac Studios.
Well, we knew they were making it. I mean, we knew they have that Marvel license, I guess, but we knew they were going to make it. I don't necessarily know that there was any shock value other than the fact that it looked better than what we saw from remember we talked about this last week where they got held for ransomware or whatever. The studio got a bunch of stuff got leaked.
Yeah, stuff got leaked.
and a lot of that came. A good chunk was from this game, so a lot of people got to look at. I don't know how far along it was, but got to look at stuff. Even some people were able to play some stuff. But it looked a lot better, obviously, in trailer form. I can't tell you what I was looking at what was I looking at that was gameplay or that was kind of like a cutscene or a cinematic type stuff. Mm-hmm. I can't be certain on some of that. I'd have to go back and look. I never saw a HUD whatsoever. In other words, I never saw anything showing me my health or a map or objectives or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what we were seeing that was gameplay. However, going off of Insomniac's previous thing with Spider-Man 2, the transition between cutscenes and gameplay is quite seamless. So still looked pretty good. The other thing was just, I don't know if you remember, there was a game that came out, and it's one of the first interviews we ever did on this show. And it was honestly about an artist that worked for Raven Software, and he had passed away. And we had somebody on from the company to talk about him and his work and what he had done, and Raven Software worked on the video game adaptation of that really, really horrible X-Men movie, the Wolverine-centric X-Men movie. Mm-hmm. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Mm-hmm. The one that also got leaked. That movie got leaked with non-finished special effects. And it was interesting to watch an entire movie that had parts of effects that were just missing, and you could see like not even fully rendered stuff. It was really strange to look at. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was really cool to see. Anyway, horrible movie, but it got a really good game adaptation for it. A really good game. And the reason I say it's a really good game adaptation is because one of the things that, I don't want to say we complain about, but sort of one of the things that we look at and we're like, yeah, well, it's not, I don't want to say it's not realistic, but every time you put a lightsaber in a player's hands and you go, it should be one and done. You know what I mean? You take one swing at somebody, that's done. You don't have to. You shouldn't have to go multiple hits on someone with a lightsaber.
You should not have a life bar pop up over your head when hit with a lightsaber.
Right. Or if you do, it should be depleted after one hit. Mm-hmm. You know, that is a weapon that is a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
But games never make that the case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so something that we got in X-Men Origins Wolverine, the video game, was the fact that this dude's got claws on his hands. And, yeah, it's going to be a bloody, gory mess.
Unbreakable metal claws on his hands.
Exactly.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? This was X-Men Origins Wolverine, so this was before he had the adamantium put on. Mm-hmm. Okay. In fact, earlier in the game, at the beginning of the game, you have the bones.
Okay. Bone claws.
The bone claws that are out. But regardless, still, you know.
Claws.
Yeah.
Still effective.
Exactly. Plus, and I don't know how they're doing this yet, but, you know, I mean, dude's got a healing factor that's pretty good. Yeah. You know, where's the threat? Now, I don't know how they made the threat in X-Men Origins Wolverine. I can't remember because I haven't played it in forever. Mm-hmm. But it was a good game, by the way, just to let people know that was a good game. Anyway, what we saw with this was like, oh, yeah, guy's got claws for hands, and he's gonna make a mess during a fight. That's something you could that I would always look at in trailers or films whenever they would have Wolverine. It's like, Logan was the first time they really did it. Mm-hmm. If you go back and watch any of the other X-Men films, there's very little blood with a dude that has claws for hands. You know what I'm saying?
What were those movies rated?
Oh, they were like PG. Yeah, PG-13.
Yeah, PG, okay. PG-13.
Yeah, with the exception of Logan, which got a nice big R.
Yeah.
But that's because it's like...
You see the movie, you know why.
Yeah. Because we're going to realistically show what a guy with claws for hands can do. Mm-hmm. And they did. There's another article that I had pulled up about specifically the Wolverine thing. Let's see. Insomniac produces polished, high-quality games, but as the PlayStation Studio illustrated during September's State of Play, its identity is also wrapped up in the production of a specific type of game. We're talking family-friendly, approachable games that converge into T for teen territory. Insomniac can get serious, and does, in series like Marvel's Spider-Man and the all-but-forgotten Fuse that they released. But no matter how many combos you throw or how you sling your web power, Spider-Man does not kill. In Wolverine, there is no question that Logan kills, and that is an understatement. Logan maims, he decapitates, he tears to shreds. Visceral is a word that developers use repeatedly when discussing Wolverine. He does not, as Spider-Man does, find a loophole that defangs the violence. As fans of Spider-Man series know, the game tries to account for situations where the wall crawler does something to an enemy that could, theoretically, result in death. In other words, if you try to hit bad guys off of tall buildings, the game will automatically glue that NPC to a nearby wall instead of letting them just fall to their death.
Yeah, it's true.
Sony insists that Spider-Man is not a murderer, which is why this happens. This hasn't stopped fans from concocting situations where death is all but confirmed. But as far as the narrative is concerned, Spider-Man's a nice guy who doesn't go across the line. Wolverine's another matter entirely. His origin story is inextricably linked with violence, and Wolverine comic and movie storylines typically emphasize how difficult it is for Logan to leave that violence behind when he is fused to his signature claws. No wonder, then, that the first behind-the-scenes look at Insomniac Games' new superhero game begins with creative director Marcus Smith immediately addressing the elephant in the room. The question that comes up a lot to us at Insomniac Games is, are you going to make a Wolverine game that is as violent and visceral as the character in the comics? He didn't answer the question directly. Instead, the dev diary cuts to a series of gruesome kills, spearheaded by Logan himself. Later on, a developer in the video game describes Wolverine's character as a ball of rage and fury. If violence is central to Wolverine as a character, developing custom tech to render blood almost seems like a foregone conclusion. The blood is all soaked up by the environment, whether it's on his face or on his clothes or on the claws. It's all there. The physics here are sophisticated enough that the game can depict blood getting caught between Wolverine's teeth. At one point, a developer mentions that blood pools, and as far as I can tell, the footage doesn't show how the game handles increasing volumes of blood. Pointing it out, although, suggests something is going on under the hood. I feel compelled to acknowledge the barbarity of discussing how realistically a video game can render blood or framing its depiction as a technological advancement. It's true, this is all kind of weird, even if a bloody Wolverine game sticks closely to the spirit of the source material. I'm honing in on the detail for two reasons. One, the term itself is surreal and bears repeating. Blood tech. This is peak video games right here. And two, the way Insomniac Games discusses this technology makes it clear that this is new territory for the family-friendly studio. So it was just nice to see that they're like, okay, they're going all, and that's the first thing they show is like they're going all in on that.
Yeah,
that sort of violence.
Yeah, honor the source material first of all. No shortcuts in that, because if you're a fan of the Wolverine series or know of his character in general, you know it's going to be, like you said, a bloody mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to see one of the things. I think I remember earlier seeing a series from. I think the first time I saw this was Wolverine Havoc Meltdown. You ever remember that comic series?
Oh, I would have to look it up.
Yeah, it was an old one. It was an old one, but way back then.
Was it a storyline?
It was a storyline. They a short little miniseries and whatnot. And the way he.
Oh, there it is. Havoc and Wolverine Meltdown.
Yeah, the way Wolverine took out some enemies in that thing was brutal. And I still remember to this day what happened there.
That is a comic series. Look at you. Yeah. Oh, Walter Simonson and the Simonsons were on the writers on that one. I'm not Bill Oak. No, I'm not really recognizing anybody on the art. Mm-hmm. Although it looks pretty good. Yeah. As I scroll through here on some of these pages.
Yeah, something you mentioned in the article about blood pooling.
Yeah.
You know how enemies are like, when they're done, they just lay there
for
an extended period of time? Yeah, well, if you've got multiple holes and cuts put in you, that blood pooling thing is going to come into effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are these enemies going to, like, disappear over time, or are they just going to stay there for a while?
I don't know. It's something we'll find out more of, and I'm sure we'll get more trailers. I mean, we have a whole year to wait for this thing to release, which means we're going to get more information likely sometime next summer for this. Lethal Migraine asks, has there ever been a Chucky video game? I don't believe there has been, although I think he has appeared in...
Plays the villain type?
Well, like, did he show up? He hasn't shown up in Mortal Kombat, right?
No.
Because I know you've got Leatherface, Jason, Freddy. They both, I think
Leatherface, Jason, Freddy, the Alien.
The Alien, the Xenomorph, they've all been showing up in there. Yeah.
Yeah, the celebrity appearances.
Which one I thought maybe Chucky was there. There is a Chucky pinball table in Pinball M. Did he show? No, I don't think he showed up in, was Dead by Daylight?
I don't think so.
Isn't that the one that brings in, like, other, like Halloween? I want to say they brought in Michael Myers for that.
Yeah,
and the Ghostface from Scream. I think they did.
Let's see.
But I will say, no, there's not been a Chucky licensed video game outside of that pinball table. But no, not anything that you might be thinking of. Lethal Migraine. So
I think Chucky was in Dead by Daylight.
I thought he might have been thrown in there.
No, they even had Jennifer Tilly come in and do the voice for
Bride of Chucky?
Tiffany for Bride of Chucky, who was in there as well. Okay.
I thought they might. All right.
Let's see.
Are you still looking?
No. We were asking what genre are these types of games, so I'm just going to search what genre is Dead by Daylight.
Co-op.
Dead by Daylight is an online asymmetric multiplayer survival horror video game.
That's a mouthful of a genre.
They're making it up. Yeah. So all this asymmetrical multiplayer horror game. Asymmetrical because you may play as the villain or the survivor.
I suppose.
I guess, yeah. Asymmetrical multiplayer horror game. I'm just calling it asymmetrical horror.
Maybe. Well, it's got to have the multiplayer in there. Because that's what it is. But anyway. I think that's going to wrap it up for us. We are going to call it done here. So thanks, everybody, for joining us yet again for another episode of the show. We'll be back. Hey, next Saturday is October. That's when we start our spooky music. We're going to play our... we'll take a break from doing the old games and new games. We're just going to do games that have spooky music in it.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily
aspects or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a horror game or a scary game. Like, I am not opposed to using the Boo theme from Mario World or whatever the case. You know, I'm not opposed to using anything that has a spooky sound to it, even though it may come from, a not spooky game like a Mario game or something like that. So, but anyway, it's October. That's when we start that, and that is happening next Saturday. So thank you everybody for joining us. RJ, thank you again for stopping by and being on the show. And we're going to leave you here with music from 2 Point Museum. This is the geometric luggage puzzle, and that's the music for it. I don't know. Anyway, have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday.